Classic Game Room is brought to you by Ethel the Cyborg Ninja, Book 1, and Jesus the Coked Up Chicken #1, Special Edition, now on Amazon.
Back Classic Game Room on Patreon!
Banished from Earth Classic Game Room broadcasts from the Intergalactic Space Arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. I like how he's just waving. It's very casual. Welcome to Classic Game Room for the review of Space Harrier on the Game Gear. And of course, I'm using a special modded Game Gear, which is blue to match his fancy pants. Copyright 1991 Sega, it's Space Harrier on the Game Gear. Space Harrier on the go. Well, sort of. You know what the Game Gear screen looks like. That's why I'm using a modded one. It's just better. This is pretty much the same version of the game that you would find on your Sega Master System or Sega Mark III, which is to say that it's not a bad version of Space Harrier, just not as good as the one in Shenmue. My pants may be fancy, but my skills are whack. I'm so bad at this game. Woo! Stop running into the what are those? Oh, that's what that button does. And here I thought it made my game better. Yes, I'm not good at playing Space Harrier, but I think Space Harrier plays pretty well on the Sega Game Gear, considering the small screen and, well, the awful screen. It actually outputs very nice video when you have your Game Gear modded, which I'll recommend because there's actually a nice selection of Game Gear games, and this is a great way to enjoy them. Look at those fancy pants! The extra fancy makes them extremely powerful and very stylish. Oh, come on, I was looking at the monitor. If you really want to play a good version of Space Harrier, I'll recommend the one in Shenmue for your Dreamcast, or the Sega Saturn version is also very nice. This one is pretty similar to the Master System version, so it's not great, but it's impressive considering the time that it was released. If you think about it, playing this in 1991 in color on your Game Gear when everyone else around you only had a black and white Game Boy, well, this would have been pretty impressive. 30 years later, not as much, but it's still not an awful version of a very complicated game for an old school handheld game system. Bonus stage! Come on, any game where you get to crush trees while riding a giant screen distortion can't be all bad. I feel like I'm playing Shenmue on the Game Gear. That would be an achievement, wouldn't it? Excuse me, I'm looking for some sailors on my portable 1990 Sega handheld game system. I can't tell what looks better, that blue Sega Game Gear or the crisp video output. Space Harrier was sent to the show by my friend Alexander in Duisburg, Germany. Thank you once again, Alexander. And the Game Gear was modded by the Nelson Brothers. Oh, stop running into those things! You guys should form a rock group called Nelson. Stage 1. Dozer. I love the stage names. My favorite is Tapes. Just Tapes. Where do you go to buy your CDs? Tapes. Good old Tapes. Admire those fancy pants. they are fancy. While this is not the best version of Space Harrier out there, for that I'll direct you to the Saturn or Dreamcast. It's an impressive version of the game, so thank you once again, Alexander and the Nelson brothers. This one has a password continue system and won't break the bank. Ah! Whoa! Hey, I made it through there. That's unusual. Oh, these things. Lovely. Ah! No! Oh, screw you, you one-eyed Cyclops robot bitch! It's Friday. Classic Game Room is brought to you by Ethel the Cyborg Ninja, Book 1, and Jesus the Coked Up Chicken #1, Special Edition, now on Amazon. Welcome to the Lord Carnage Club, being shouted from within. A turbo volcano! Starting with Andy and Abby Schleiss. Jeff Breyer. Derek Langley. Michael and Ariana Nelson. Benjamin Woodring. Steven Chucknick. Al Stever. Ian Shore. You sure are awesome. Jason Goy. Sergio Matthias Hergert. Chip Sink Bale. Busy Signal. Sean Zoltek. Rick DeBarros. Philip Strabenmuller. Jack Stavris. Ohad Kane. And Tiago Pereira dos Santos Silva from Porto, Portugal. Tiago Pereira dos Santos Silva from Porto, Portugal.